Have you ever dreamed of what it would be like to have a massage every single day of your life? What if I told you you could have it not only every day, but at any time that you wanted it, free of charge, and you never had to make an appointment? Today, I'm going to talk about how to get a massage every single day, free, that's going to change your life. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Muscle Repair Shop. My name is Butch Phelps, and today we're going to talk about how you can get a free massage every day, anytime you want it, without an appointment. And when I tell you what it is, you'll think it's a trick. But this will be the first series in the video series that I have here on self-massage. And each Friday, over the next 5 Fridays, I'm going to talk about a specific area of your body that you can do a self-massage on, and you'll be amazed at how much different your body will feel. We're going to start today with the forearms. Most of us work on computers, we drive, we use our hands for everything. And what we don't realize is that the forearm part of our body is a major part of how our hand moves. In fact, from the tips of the elbow to the tips of the fingers, you have about 26 muscles that control your hand in all the different directions that you want to move your hand, open and close your hand, for instance. And so what happens is that we use our fingers on a computer, we use our fingers on our phone, we use our fingers and hands to drive our cars, but what we don't realize is that the muscles here, and you can see as I flex my arm how those muscles move. You can try the same thing and see that. And many times it'll wind up as elbow tendonitis, golfer's elbow, tennis elbow, and people will think there's a problem with their elbow, when in fact most of the time it's a problem with their hands. It's how they use their hands. In other words, it's not an injury to the hand itself. Once you learn how to self-massage the forearm and into your hands here, you can stop elbow tendonitis. You can stop the pain down here at the bottom part of your thumb almost completely, if not completely, just by doing these 2 little massages here on a daily basis. Now, yes, it is every day. Keep in mind that your muscles have a physical side and an emotional side. And on the emotional side, everything, every thought you have, every movement that you do causes the muscles to tighten. And as they do that, that puts pressure on the joints, it puts pressure on the nerves, it puts pressure on the blood vessels, because the muscles are the only thing in your body that can apply pressure externally. And that pressure causes you to have the ability to stand up, walk around, sit down in a chair, lift things, do all the things that you love to do. So what I want to show you is exactly how to do that today. So these videos will be a little bit shorter, but they'll be straight to the point and they'll help you resolve that issue. Now, when you start in massaging the forearm here, first let's understand what's in there. So you can feel the knot here on the elbow. From this knot out to your 5 fingertips are 5 muscles that allow you to open your hand, okay? So you can see as I move this, you can see the movement in here as I open my hands. There's also a knot on the bottom side, and these 5 muscles come through the carpal tunnel out to the fingertips and allow me to close my hand. As you can see that move. You can see the same thing on your own arm, okay? So that movement every day starts to affect the elbow up here, and in some cases can affect the wrist, but most commonly it affects the elbow. I see tennis players who are trying to buy rackets with thicker handles on it, thinking that the handle is too thin. And in the beginning, when they go to a thicker handle and they grip it, yes, it doesn't hurt as bad here because it's not as much tension on the muscle, but over time it'll come back, you see. And so what we want to do is learn how to soften the muscles in here so that my hands not only can move easily, my wrist can move easily, even in rotation, without having pain up here on this arm. So inside this part of your arm, there are 2 bones there going into 1 bone on the top side. When these are tight, it can cause a torque in the elbow, creating pain here. So the thing to remember is that when you feel your arm, and I talk about what is normal, okay? What is normal to you is how your arm feels to you now. Now keep in mind, how many arms, or the question you ask yourself is, how many other people's arms do you get to feel every day to really be able to say, wow, my arms are tight or my arms are soft? Whatever it feels like to you now is normal. So it's going to take a little bit of time for you as you start to work into your arm here to literally change it so that you can realize that probably where it is today is not normal. Okay? In my profession, I get to see 4 or 5 arms a day that I can compare one to the other two, so I get to see the full gamut of softness to hardness in the muscles of the forearm. When you're doing this, and you can do this setting at home, I've done it standing on stage in front of 50 people, but when you do this, all you want to do is use the pads of your thumb, not the point. We're not going to dig in like this. We're going to use the pads of the thumb, but notice how the bottom hand rotates. Now, it looks like that what I'm doing is pushing my thumb up this way, but the real thing is that my hand here stays in the same place, and the lower arm that is being massaged is rotating through so that I can feel the muscles as I rotate through that, you see. And so what we want to do is work our way down the arm. Now, it's not about the pressure. I'm not trying to push so hard that I'm going to push this back out, because it doesn't work that way. And number two, this hand will get tired. And so what you want to do is as you start to roll your hand outward, and you notice the direction I'm rolling my lower hand, I'll take a breath, breathe out as I'm doing that. Because what I want to do here is actually relieve the tension in the muscle. If I push too hard and I create too much pain, my brain then will contract the muscle trying to stop the pain, which is just the opposite of what you want it to do. And so when you're working, you see you've got a whole swath here of muscles on this side that you can literally work, as you can see me rotating my hand here, work all the way down my arm as I'm working down towards my wrist. Now that works the top part. Then you have the bottom part here, which actually controls the hand moving this way. Now I can take my thumb as I'm doing this, and you can see me rotate my hand coming over, and again, as I'm feeling for sore spots in my arm, as I breathe out and then release the breath, and I just start to work until I soften the muscles up into my hand here. All right? So we want to work the top part, and we want to work the bottom part of the hand coming in here just like that, so that again, these muscles move well. So for my wrist to move this way, this has to contract, but this has to let go. So I can pull down, feel pain over here, and I'm thinking that there's a problem there, and it could be, okay? Or as I lift up, I could feel pain here as well, and again, it could be a problem there too. But as I lift up, if there's a pain here, chances are the bottom part is tight and this is overworking. If I come down and I feel the pain here, chances are this could be tight, but as I come down and I'm pulling here, this is creating some problems on the top side coming back down. Okay, so what we want to do here is make sure that in our movement, our hands can move. Now you notice I make a slight fist. Typically when I do this stretch, I'll do it more this way. And you can see the difference. If I take my hand and come here, it's a whole different feeling. When I come here, I include my fingers, and the reason I include my fingers is the muscles are coming from the tips of my fingers to back up to my elbow here. And we want to be able to stop that. The second part of that is working in this little web space here into the thumb. We use our thumb a lot. In fact, that's what separates us from most mammals, is being able to grip things with our hand. So this area here is always going to get really sore but it's going to show up on the joint down here. Now some people may think they have arthritis. There could be some damage in here a little bit, but most of the time in the beginning of what we think of as arthritis, the muscles in here are hard, and as we work in here, and again, you can see here as I'm doing this, I'm just gently squeezing, but not hard, breathing out as I do that, allowing the muscle in here to soften, okay? And as I do that, now you can start to literally, you can see me take my thumb this way. I'm trying to stretch the webbing. See how I brace here and I'm coming across, and I can start to stretch the webbing there in my hands. You can do this as many times during the day as you want, because again, we're not talking about pressure. We're not talking about forcing something to happen. What we're talking about is relieving the tension from overuse and also from being tight in our bodies throughout. And when we do that, you can take a lot of pressure off your hands, a lot of pressure off your elbows. So if you like what's going on here, subscribe, ring the bell down below, share this with your friends who may have an elbow tendonitis or may have some pain down into their thumb here, and watch and see how much it helps them. But for now, see ya.